I'm Bruce Marshall. This is the Brampton Now update for the week ending the February 20th, 21st weekend, 2021. Coming up, Peel's chief medic asked for time. Premier Ford giving the doctor the time he needs. Variants are the sidebar in Peel pandemic talk. Dr. Lawrence Lowe on that. And compliance. We hear of village idiots protesting over conspiracy theories. Are normal people complying with the measures? Or is the conspiracy theory nonsense gaining any traction? Mayor Brown on that score. Details on that and more coming up in this Brampton Now update. Here's what's happening in Brampton. Peel's chief medical officer has been saying for several weeks now, we need to get school openings perfected, then reopen businesses. Reopening was scheduled for Monday for Peel Region businesses. Dr. Lowe from the Brampton City News Conference Wednesday this week.
Can we reassess our anticipated return to the provincial framework? Holding the status quo for just one incubation period, 14 days, will allow us to better see where the variant trends go and review any impact that school reopening might have on community contacts and transmission.
Then, on Friday afternoon, Premier Ford with this.
Earlier today, following the advice of the local health officials and the Chief Medical Officer of Health, we announced that the stay-at-home orders in the hardest-hit regions of the province will be extended for an additional 2 weeks. My friends, I've said from day one, nothing, and I mean nothing, is more important right now than keeping you and your loved ones safe. That's why I've been unwavering when it comes to supporting our local health officials. Dr. 𝗕𝗿𝗺, Dr. Lowe, they're on the ground. And it's my responsibility to support them, to support our municipal partners.
Peel's chief medic is also happy to see kids back in school.
I'm also glad that our children are back in school today. The precautions taken in those settings will help them derive the significant benefits of in-person learning and keep variants out of that setting. However, keeping kids in school and avoiding another lockdown means we must also keep our community cases under control.
And on the story of COVID itself, variants of the virus emerging in the community are the story Peel's health detectives, the contact tracers, are teasing out of the data.
Our investigation into variant clusters in our region have identified additional concerning findings. We have confirmed that the variants appear to be more transmissible, seemingly linked to much shorter interactions, as opposed to the typical close contact that is needed to transmit the original strain.
In a moment, frankly, if you look online, we have a few village idiots around town still going on with the nutty narratives that have come out of conspiracy land. Is anyone listening to the village idiots? More on that next on the Brampton Now update.
Is going to a party really worth it? Putting yourself at risk puts everyone at risk. Help limit the spread of COVID-19.
This is the Brampton Now update. I'm Bruce Marshall. If you bother with social media, you'll know that we have a tiny number of village idiots constantly going on about various pandemic conspiracy theories. So, have they had an effect? Do people distrust the protocols and measures recommended by government? Not normal people, according to Mayor Brown.
In terms of compliance with the public health guidelines, we continue to see great compliance. And I was a little bit worried. It was Family Day weekend. Sometimes with a long weekend, you're going to see more of a relaxed approach to the public health guidelines. And we saw that in some of the long weekends over the last year. It wasn't the case this weekend. There was only 5 charges under the Emergency Management and Civil Protection Act, only 11 charges under the Reopening of Ontario Act. So thank you, Brampton, for your high level of compliance and taking the advice of public health to heart.
In a moment, a sad week for hockey in Brampton this week. More on that next on the Brampton Now Update.
This is your invitation to hear our stories, to engage in our traditions, and connect with our history. Connections as varied as the land. Come experience our country's heritage. Find and book your authentic Indigenous experience at indigenouscanada.travel.
I'm Bruce Marshall. This is the Brampton Now Update. The Brampton Beast Hockey Club is no more. The ECHL club that had played at Brampton CAA Centre through the 20-teens after the folding of the previous Brampton pro hockey team, the Brampton Battalion, moved off to North Bay. The controversial tenure of the Beast included a $1.5 million sponsorship by the City of Brampton from the previous City of Brampton Council. The Beast has been killed off by the pandemic. The other team that swirls in talk of leaving town is the Brampton Excelsiors lacrosse team, which traced their history back to 1883 and before in Brampton. The Excelsiors were supposed to be moving to Owen Sound, but there's some question being raised by Brampton's lacrosse community over whether ownership has the right to move the team. The controversy there continues. And that is the Brampton Now Update for this week. Please subscribe to the Brampton Now Update channel on YouTube or follow #MarshallMinute on Facebook for lots of Brampton Need to Know that you won't find anywhere else. Your comments and suggestions are always welcome, and if you've got a Brampton story to tell, get in touch with me through the channel you're watching on right now. Stay strong, Brampton. Brampton strong. We're all in this together. I'm Bruce Marshall. Thanks for watching Brampton Now Update.
Quiet, numbskulls, I'm broadcasting.